Did Ford just make a huge mistake? Or is this actually the smartest upgrade they've made in years? Because what they're doing right now could completely change how trucks drive in the future. For nearly a decade, Ford's 10-speed automatic has been a core part of its lineup. You've seen it everywhere, from the F-150 to the Ranger, the Expedition, even performance cars like the Mustang. It was designed to deliver better fuel economy, smoother acceleration, and stronger towing power. And on paper, it did exactly that. But here's the thing most people don't talk about. Real-world driving didn't always match the theory. Over time, many drivers started noticing issues. Rough shifts, delays between gears, that annoying feeling where the transmission can't decide what gear it wants, especially in stop-and-go traffic. Some experienced hesitation, others felt jerks during acceleration. Now, to be fair, Ford worked on fixes. Updates were released, software was improved, and newer versions became more refined. But the core problem never fully disappeared, because the issue wasn't just tuning, it was complexity. A 10-speed transmission sounds impressive, but more gears also mean more moving parts, more clutches, more friction points, more chances for something to feel off, and more cost when something eventually wears out. So now Ford is making a quiet but very important shift. Instead of adding more gears, they're going in the opposite direction. A new transmission is emerging, one that focuses less on numbers and more on how it actually performs in the real world. Early insights suggest a move toward a refined 8-speed setup, paired with smarter software, better control systems, and tighter integration with modern engines. And this is where things get interesting. Because this isn't about going backward, it's about fixing what didn't work as well as expected. Modern transmissions aren't just mechanical anymore. They rely heavily on software, how the system thinks, adapts, and responds to your driving. And Ford seems to be betting that smarter control will matter more than simply having more gears. Which brings up the real question. Was the 10-speed ever truly better, or just more complicated? Because sometimes adding more doesn't actually improve the experience. And in this case, Ford might be proving exactly that. Here's the reality most people overlook. More gears don't automatically mean better performance. On paper, a 10-speed transmission sounds perfect. It keeps the engine in its ideal power range, improves efficiency, and delivers smooth acceleration. But in real-world driving, things don't always play out that way. With so many gears available, the system is constantly making decisions. Which gear is best right now? Should it shift up or stay? Should it drop down for more power? And that constant decision-making can actually create problems. This is where drivers experience what's called gear hunting. The transmission keeps shifting back and forth, trying to find the right gear but never quite settling. In traffic or at low speeds, this becomes especially noticeable and frustrating. Then there's the software side. Modern transmissions rely heavily on programming. Even if the hardware is solid, the experience depends on how well everything is calibrated. And with a 10-speed, that calibration becomes much more complicated. Many of the complaints people had weren't because something broke. It was because the system didn't always feel consistent. Now add long-term use into the equation. More gears mean more internal components, more clutches, more wear over time, especially in trucks that tow, haul, or see tough conditions regularly. And when something does go wrong, it's not cheap. So Ford started looking at the bigger picture. What actually matters more, having the most gears, or having the best overall driving experience? That question is what's driving this shift. By moving toward a simpler transmission, like an advanced 8-speed, Ford can reduce unnecessary complexity. Fewer parts mean fewer friction points, less confusion in shifting, more predictable behavior behind the wheel. And when you combine that with modern engines, especially turbocharged EcoBoost setups or hybrid systems, the difference between 8 and 10 gears becomes much less noticeable. In fact, for most drivers, it might feel better. Smoother, more natural, less busy. Because instead of constantly shifting, the transmission can focus on delivering power exactly when you need it, without overthinking every move. And that's a big change in philosophy. It's no longer about having the most advanced-looking spec sheet. It's about how the vehicle actually feels every single day you drive it. And that's where this new direction could quietly outperform the old one. Now here's where things really start to shift. And it has a lot to do with where the entire industry is heading. Electrification is changing everything. Ford is rapidly expanding its hybrid and electric lineup, and that alone is forcing a rethink of how transmissions should work. Because once you introduce electric power into the system, the rules change. Electric motors deliver instant torque. No waiting, no buildup. Power is available immediately, and that reduces the need for multiple gears. In a traditional gas-powered setup, more gears help keep the engine in its ideal range. But with hybrid systems, the electric motor can fill in those gaps. It smooths out acceleration, reduces strain on the transmission, and eliminates the need for constant shifting. That means a simpler transmission can actually perform just as well or even better in real-world driving. And in fully electric vehicles, multi-speed transmissions disappear entirely. So from a long-term perspective, this move makes a lot of sense. Ford isn't just thinking about today, they're building for what comes next. Now let's talk about performance, because this is where a lot of people get skeptical. On paper, yes, a 10-speed should have the advantage. More gears mean more precise control over power delivery and efficiency. But in reality, the difference is often surprisingly small. With better tuning and smarter control systems, an 8-speed can feel more responsive, more predictable and less busy. Instead of constantly shifting, it delivers power in a smoother, more controlled way. And for most drivers, that actually feels better, especially in daily driving. Even in performance vehicles, the trend is starting to shift. It's no longer about how many gears you have, it's about how well everything works together. Now, what about towing? Because for truck owners, this is the big one. The 10-speed has been strong in this area, keeping the engine in the right range under load. But a well-designed 8-speed can still deliver excellent results. Strong low-end torque, smart gear spacing, better thermal control. And here's something important: fewer shifts. Underload can actually improve stability while towing. When you combine that with modern engine upgrades and hybrid torque assist, the real-world capability doesn't just stay the same, it can improve. Which brings us to the biggest factor of all, reliability. Because at the end of the day, nothing matters more than a truck that works consistently every time you need it. And this is where Ford's new transmission could make the biggest impact. Reliability, because simpler systems are usually stronger systems. Fewer parts, less internal stress. Fewer chances for something to go wrong over time. And for truck owners who plan to keep their vehicles for years, that matters more than anything on a spec sheet. The 10-speed has improved a lot since it first came out, but let's be honest, it still carries a reputation. Early issues, inconsistent behavior, and mixed long-term experiences left an impression. This is Ford's chance to reset that. By focusing on a more refined, less complicated design, they can deliver something that feels consistent day after day. Not just impressive in short tests. And they're not alone in this shift. Across the industry, automakers are rethinking transmissions. Some are sticking with 8 speeds for durability. Others are moving towards CVTs. And electric vehicles are removing multi-speed transmissions entirely. The idea that more gears is always better is starting to fade. What matters now is how everything works together. Engine, software, and drivetrain as one system. Of course, no change comes without risks. Some buyers will see fewer gears and immediately think it's a downgrade. Others may worry about early tuning issues, because every new system needs time to be perfected. And real long-term data? That will only come with years of use. So execution is everything. But from an engineering perspective, this move makes sense. Performance isn't about excess, it's about balance. A transmission has to work seamlessly with the engine and adapt to real-world conditions. And beyond a certain point, adding more gears doesn't help. It actually makes things harder to manage. It looks like Ford has reached that point. So, is this new transmission better or worse? If you care about smoother daily driving, stronger long-term reliability, and lower ownership stress, this is likely an upgrade. If you're focused purely on numbers and maximum theoretical efficiency, it might feel like a step back. But for most drivers, especially truck owners, this change could deliver exactly what they've been asking for. In the end, this isn't about losing 2 gears. It's about gaining a better driving experience.